This week's Torah portion of Parshat Behaalotcha speaks about Kivot HaTa'ava. The Jewish people are traveling in the desert, and all of a sudden they become restless, which is something that we're starting to get used to with regards to their behavior. And they complain, Zacharnu et hadaga asher achalnu b'Mitzrayim. Oh, we remember the wondrous amenities and the wondrous festivities and meals that we were able to partake from in Mitzrayim, chinam, without any price. The Torah, when it introduces the Jewish people's behavior in so complaining and being kfuyei tova, unappreciative of all of the miraculous feats and all of the kindness and the gestures that HaKadosh Baruch Hu literally graced upon them as they traveled through the desert, when the Torah introduces this particular difficult and troubling chapter, it says, Vayehi ha'am kimit'onenim. Mitonanim, what is that? The people became mitonanim. What does that mean? The classic understanding is that mitonanim relates to mitlonanim, that they complained. They became kvetchi, something that we might be used to with regards to the Jewish people often. But Rav Shamshon Raphael Hirsch offers a tremendous insight. He says mitonanim actually knows its root from onen. And onen, Rahman al-Itzlan, God forbid no one should know, is someone who is in the state of avelut, in the state of mourning. And onen is someone who has just lost a loved one and who can no longer perform mitzvot, cannot be involved in any possible functions or functionality because of the fact that they are completely engrossed and enthralled and overtaken by aninut, by this loss of life. In other words, they are in a state of such terrible chaos and incapacity to function that they are onanim. That is how the Jewish people viewed themselves. Vayehi ha'am kimitonanim. We are like people who are an onen. We have nothing. We only have loss. We only are experiencing death. We have nothing to live for. When a person thinks that way and they see the life or their perspectives of their life as such and the world as such, they become complainers. They are incapable of appreciating the greatness, the goodness, the kindness that might exist around them. Kimit onanim. Everything is onen. Everything is death. Everything is terrible. Everything is horrible. This is a very, very bad perspective for a person to have in life. Regardless, and take it from me, I lost a child. And even though I lost a child, I am beseeched by my other children, by my wife, by my family, and sometimes even by myself, not to see myself as an onen, as someone who has experienced ultimate and total loss, but as someone who can still experience life, who can still foresee a future, a foreseeable future that can be productive, loving, kind, and have happiness in it as well. Recently, as we know, the Jewish people are now experiencing an Eretz Yisrael war, and it's a very chaotic time. It's very difficult for people. And people who are outside in the diaspora, there's no question that they are concerned with Israel, but they don't completely understand what's going on in Israel and what it means to live under war and under siege. It's a very, very difficult, challenging time for the people in Israel that most people outside cannot fully comprehend. They want to, and there is sympathy and there is empathy, but it's very hard to understand until you are ba'asher hu sham, until you are there. And I was sitting at a meal recently. I'm here in Chutz La'aretz in the diaspora speaking, and I was sitting with someone, and this fellow said or remarked during the meal, you know, we too here in the diaspora are suffering as a result of the war. After all, I have someone that I normally, or a company that normally contracts with me, and when they heard about the war in Israel and that I'm Jewish, they completely dismissed our contract, and I lost thousands of dollars. So the war affects us as well. And I thought to myself, please, do me a favor. That's completely moronic. How could someone say such a thing in the eyes of loss of life and children who are dying in the army and people who are getting killed by acts of terrorism? Everything is a matter of perspective. Vayehi ha'am kimitonanim. That person sees things as an onen. Everything is lost. Everything is terrible. No, put things in perspective and understand that that does not or pales in comparison to Chalila, what the people in Israel are experiencing. We need to understand and appreciate, look around us, and put things in perspective, and not to be mitonanim, to understand that regardless of the fact that there are challenges and there is loss, and Rahman al-Itzlan, we've even experienced death, We shouldn't be mitonanim. Don't see all of life like an onen, like everything is falling to pieces, but rather embrace the positives, the productivity, and the opportunities that we have around us as well. This is something that we need to embrace and learn regardless of the challenges that exist in our confines. This is the Jewish way, it is the Torah way, and it always will remain the Gila way. Shabbat Shalom.